Hey guys, it's me again. It's kind of a weird one we're in for today, and I don't even fully know what this video is exactly going to be. But my store that I work at is having to get painted this week. Literally, it's been getting painted all week, and so tonight, not tonight, tonight's Friday, tomorrow night and Sunday night, I have to work the overnight shift. I'm probably gonna stay up pretty much as late as I can and then sleep kind of during the day tomorrow and then wake up like early to mid afternoon. I'm not really sure. My sleep schedule has already been messed up already this week. Like the last 3 days, I've stayed up till like at least 12:30, if not 1 o'clock before I've fallen asleep. And normally I fall asleep at like 10:30. So I have just not been sleeping very well at all. Just started Rhythm of War. I'm literally still in the prologue and I am so excited. I don't know everything that's supposed to happen in this book, but I'm excited to be back in the world. I love Brandy Sandy, but it's 8:40 right now. And so I'm just going to sit here and try to crank out some of this book. I was supposed to start this book like 2 days ago. So this is a really good time to be trying to read a lot of pages because I'm kind of behind. So let's see how much we can get through. Hey guys, it is many hours later. Number one, I did not read much last night. I think I'm on page like 30. I'm bad. I watched YouTube all night. Number two, I think I stayed up till about 2 a.m. And then I was like, and I went to bed. So, and now it's 8:30. So, we're just gonna have to see how all this plays out today, honestly. I totally forgot to show you guys my outfit earlier. Ugh, I'm obsessed with the whole fit. The shoes are Nikes. Genuinely don't remember where I bought those. So sorry. The pants I got from Amazon. I freaking love these pants. They are, I think, my favorite pants I own. The top, Walmart No Boundaries men's section, guys. I'm obsessed. This is the second No Boundaries men's top I've bought, and it's just so, ooh, I love it. I just love it so much. Now imagine me wearing this, but my hair was like James from Chorus. Oh, I'd be unstoppable. Oh, I would literally be unstoppable. I haven't gotten brave enough to say I'm going to actually cut my hair that way, though, but in my brain, I really want to. Hey, guys. It's currently 10, a little after 10, and I'm already tired, and I already want to go home, so we're living, laughing, and loving. Hello, guys. It is many hours later. I am about to leave to go to church where we're making it, okay? I literally got back a little bit after 6, slept till like 8:10, 8:15. Right now it's 8:58. I have to be at church right now. So I'm very much so running behind. But I will tell you, I started listening to Heated Rivalry last night / this morning, and I'm like 63% in or something like that. I was really trying to finish it the whole time I was there, but I was like, oh, I'll have time tomorrow, aka today. You know, it's fine. I'll just wait. But I'm really, really loving it, and I'm very shocked like how good the chemistry is in the book. It was like, okay, there's no way like the chemistry is going to be that good in the book. It is. Mind you, I've only seen one episode of Heated Rivalry, but my favorite scene in the whole first episode is when Shane's in the gym and he's like locked in, and then Ilya comes up to the treadmill directly next to him and starts running a little bit faster than Shane, and so then Shane speeds the treadmill up, so he's running a little bit faster than Ilya, and then Ilya does the same thing again, and they're trying to see who's going to chicken out and like give up first. I love that. And that's like one of their first, like probably their first flirty interaction, basically. And I was really, because I had only seen like parts of the first episode, I didn't really know, like, okay, how did all of this start? Like, because this was a lot. This was a crazy situation to be in. Like, two seemingly straight hockey players start hooking up every couple months whenever their games intersect. But the way that it happened, I was gagged, y'all. I was literally standing in the middle of the store like this. I was like, what the heck? And I really, yeah, I'm enjoying it. But yeah, so I gotta go. Hey, hi, hello. It's like 4-ish, almost 3:52. I just got back from work, but I wanted to tell you before I forget, first off the agenda, I finished Rivalry. I really liked it. Was it like the best male romance I've ever read? Not for me. Which, like, obviously, I know from the show that, like, there was a lot of, like, sexual scenes that would happen, but, like, when I tell y'all, they were getting it on, what is that expression? Getting it on, like, rabbits? Let me tell y'all, like, one sex scene would lead straight into another one, and I was like, I mean, they were good, but I was like, you're doing a whole lot over there, whatever the author who wrote this book's name is. But I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I had dirt all over my face. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I thought the ending was really cute. And I did enjoy the ending. But it wasn't like my perfect romance. I will tell you real quick that I got to page almost 200, I think, of Rhythm of War, and I'm really scared. Like, I know the other shoe is probably gonna drop here pretty soon, and, like, not saying that sad things aren't happening or, like, bad things haven't happened already in the book, but I feel it. I'm like, I just feel something brewing. Too many, like, good things are being said. Too many nice, happy moments are happening. I feel like something's gonna happen. But I have heard, like, the probably only complaint that I've ever heard about the Stormlight Archives is people wished it had, like, more stakes. Like, even when, people died, like, they weren't, like, the characters you were worried would die, and then some characters, I'm not gonna say who, but some characters die, and then they come back, and it's like, even in, like, the fight scenes when it's, like, kind of tense, and it's like, oh, are they gonna survive? It's like, okay, you know, they're gonna survive, like, they have plot armor. So I don't know that I should be scared, but something's brewing. I feel it. But yeah, like I said, I'm really tired. I'll see you guys, hopefully, in, like, 4 hours. I just am really enjoying where the character arcs are going right now. Like, Kaladin is certainly suffering from immense amount of PTSD, and it is really affecting how he is performing in battle and in planning and in all these things, and it's getting to the point where it's almost putting other people at risk, and it has put other people at risk, and so he's on the bench for right now, and they're trying to find something else for him to do so he can be useful. You know, they were like, you're too useful to just sit around and do nothing, like, you're too strong or too powerful. Then there's Shallan, and Shallan is going through this insane identity crisis because she has 3 different identities that all exist within her one body, and it seems like more and more every day her true real self of Shallan is just getting kind of pushed to the background, and the other 2 are kind of coming to the forefront more. And it's really, I don't know how to explain it, but like it's such an interesting concept that she has these alternate identities, but they're kind of taking over, and she in one identity is doing something that she knows the other identity actively would tell her not to do, and she's kind of fighting herself. And there was such a good scene where Adolin was talking to Kaladin, and he was like, I need your help because she is suffering, she is in pain, and I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to fix it. And Kaladin was like, bruh, she's fine. She's literally fine. What are you talking about? And literally Adolin was like how you say you're fine? Clock it. So he was like, yeah, you're right. Neither of us are doing good. And so I had just a really good talk about that. But yeah, I just feel like something is brewing. Speaking of Shallan, one of her alter egos has kind of gotten herself wrapped up in this, like, I don't want to say society isn't the right word, but like this group of people who are doing bad things. She is coming into it basically like a spy, and you know, she's seeking answers. She wants to know who the spy or who the traitors are. You know, there's people on the good side that are, you know, also helping the bad side, and she's trying to figure out, you know, who can you trust, who can you not trust. And so she's gotten herself fully wrapped up in this, and I feel like something bad's gonna happen, but I don't know. So here is my current tab update. I'm really enjoying this from what I know too, because I was watching like some spoiler free, like what to know while going in or whatever, and like I've watched several videos of people ranking like where does this one stand compared to their favorites, and a lot of people say this one is slower and delves a lot more, and which I've already seen it partially, but a lot of people say that this spends a lot more time delving into the magic system and how the magic actually works. And for some people that's gonna be like, yes, I love that, and other people it's gonna be like, I don't really care. Right now I feel pretty medium about it. It's very cool. Do I understand it 100% of the time? No, but it is really cool. If I can find it. Oh, here we go. This thing, this like ship flying platform thing, so cool. Do I really understand how the magic makes this thing fly? No, but I mean, I'm here for the vibes. I'm having a good time. It's okay. But yeah, like I said, I definitely, because I think I'm on chapter 15, and part 1 ends at chapter 19, I believe. So I'm definitely going to finish part 1, and then if I have any different thoughts for you, I will update you after I finish part 1. But yeah, let's get back into reading. Okay, guys, I am on page, oh, that's hot, 293. I got through the end of part 1 and read the interludes. I love the interludes, even though like sometimes it's like, how is this relevant right now? You always know it's gonna come back. But what I love about the interludes is we learn things, like we know stuff that the characters don't know. I can't think of what that's called, like in literary life, but when you know more information than the characters of the book do, and so you're kind of waiting for them to find out. We got a lot of battle planning at the end of part 1, and trying to decide and figure out how these people are going to attack these new enemies, these singers, who are way more powerful than anybody they've ever fought before. And yeah, I think it's still really good. I'm still loving it. Not only on top of like the battle planning, we have someone who a little too quickly jumped in to help the cause, and we know from the interludes that he is basically putting them in a trap. He's a spy, a traitor, whatever words you want to use, and his whole goal is to cause this plan to happen and to die. Like that is his whole plan. That has what has been written out for him. He has to make this plan work out, and he will die. And he's not really worried about the rest because that's all he's supposed to do. Tab update. Can you see? So exciting. I'm a little bit less than 30% in now. I really want to read to chapter 30 before the end of the day. I think that's fairly doable. 10 chapters. It's nothing crazy. It is about 100 more pages, basically. Yeah, basically 100 more pages. But there were 2 days this last week that I did not read at all. And so I very much so have some catching up to do. So that's why I need to get to page 400 by the end of the day so that I can get through the audiobook and finish the audiobook before it runs out on Libby. But yeah, I think I'm going to watch some YouTube, and I will let you know whenever I get to page 400. Okay guys, I just got to page 408. I'm on chapter 30. Another tab update. Ooh, look at her go. Yeah, I am still really enjoying this. I might not update you again, probably won't, until I get to the end of part 2, which is about another 200 pages away. I would like to get all 200 of those pages done tomorrow, but I do work tomorrow, so might not happen. But yeah, basically this last kind of chunk was just kind of getting in the weeds of some things, trying to figure out who the spy is and figuring out Kaladin has been kind of going through this thing where he is trying to figure out what it is he wants to do, and because his dad is a surgeon, he went to go talk to his dad, and his dad was like, oh my goodness, you should be a surgeon, and he was like, yeah, sure. So now he's doing some work as a surgeon, and like those moments were really sweet. I just thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed those parts. We had a really sweet moment between Shallan and Adolin, and Shallan finally told Adolin that the whole reason that she went to go learn with Yasna was to steal from her. Steal from her. And he was like, that's ridiculous, that's crazy. She was like, yeah, it was. Like, obviously, I didn't know her. But, like, now I know, like, how did I think that plan was going to work out? You know what I mean? But, yeah, so we are trying to figure out who the spy is. And Vale has kind of been helping Shallan because Vale is really good at kind of, like, getting information out of people. And Vale is like, okay, like, I'm going to give you the tips, I'm going to give you the tools, and you're going to talk to these people, and we're going to figure out who it is. And she has been finding out that somebody has been using her little communication box to speak to the Ghost Bloods. So she knows somebody is double-crossing, but she is also not double-crossing, but, like, she's on the inside, you know what I mean? But yeah, so it's just a lot of building up to stuff right now. I really feel like, and, like, I'm really close to the halfway point. I think I'm, like, 33% in. I feel like something big is gonna happen in the next chunk. Like, I feel it in my bones. Something big is gonna happen. So, I probably won't update you again, hopefully till tomorrow. But whenever it is, it will be whenever I'm halfway through, which, like I said, hopefully will be tomorrow. So, something that is really interesting about this book, even more so than the last one, is the talk about Shallan. Now, I kind of started to try to explain this yesterday, but I didn't explain it very well, and it's so funny because so every couple of months I go down a rabbit hole around Dissociated and just how terrible and awful they are, and a video came up on my homepage the other day of somebody talking about her, and so I started watching it, and now I've started watching this girl's whole channel, and I think the only thing she talks about is, like, people faking DID. Or at least that's what her videos mostly are. Those are the only videos I've seen. And so I've been watching all of these people, of different people faking DID. And literally I was sitting there reading, and it straight up said, Shalon and her alters. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I was like, how do I explain the Shalon situation without making it sound like I'm comparing it directly to DID? But they also kind of compared it directly to DID. So if you don't know what DID is, basically what it is it is a disorder where insanely severe and repeated trauma happens in your childhood, and so your brain kind of splits into two personalities to try and remove you from the situation. Like, the brain is insanely interesting. Like, let me go psych on you real quick. The brain is so interesting because the amount of stuff that it does without our knowledge and without our consent kind of sounds scary, but I mean, it's kind of true. Kind of without our consent to protect us is really fascinating. And so literally the brain, to protect you, to protect itself even, will kind of split off and make another personality to kind of separate you from the trauma and try to help you process it in its own way. It's truly fascinating. But I've been watching all of these videos about people faking DID, which, like, I don't want to say that there's, like, DID isn't real. Like, don't take it that way, because it is. But there's so little known about it because of how rare it is, and the amount of influencers or just randoms on TikTok who just so happen to have DID and just so happen to catch 25 switches on camera. I don't believe you. Like, you're a liar. You know what I mean? But it's just so interesting, the talk about it that's happening in here, because like I said, every couple months I just go down a deep dive, and now the deep dive has gone on into other people, like, because I used to, for years, like, would deep dive into people on YouTube faking DID, and now, like, there's a new surge of people doing it on TikTok, which is crazy. And so there's all these people that I didn't know about on TikTok that I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, that's not, why are we spreading misinformation? But yeah, it's just so interesting that this book just happened to line up with one of the times that I'm deep diving into this, and one of the characters is literally experiencing it. And speaking of Shalon and her alters, so we've been going through this part of the book where there is a supposed spy, someone who is feeding information to, how do you say his name? Is it Moran? Does it have an M? I don't know how to pronounce it. I've been literally listening to the audiobook and I still don't remember. But anyway, somebody is feeding information to him, and, you know, it's not good, right? And so here Shalon is kind of doing what she did in the last book, in a sense, kind of being a spy, but, like, as in infiltrating the bad guy's side to try and see how much information they know and kind of what their plans are. And along this journey of doing this, she discovers that this box, that's this communication device that she was given to keep them up to date on what she was doing, but she's using it to see what they know that anyway, she finds that the box was moved, and the box is in her room, like, it was hidden, but someone found it and somebody used it. And she's trying to figure out, okay, who among us is a spy? Like, somebody is an actual double crosser, like, and is, like, a traitor and is on the enemy side and is pretending to be on our side. So kind of the opposite of what Shalon is doing, right? Doing it for the bad guys. And so she's so convinced that there is somebody around the camp who came with them on this journey that is the betrayer. And my theory, as of right now, is that Shalon has a fourth altar that she does not realize she has, and that fourth altar is the one that is actually the person who is double crossing them, because she has, and this is like a real DID thing here, and another thing that just the brain does in general. She has severe amounts of memory loss, and once again, that is a tactic by the brain, is to, like, so your trauma isn't as heavy, is to literally blank it out, block it out, kind of give you, like, partial amnesia, so you don't know what happened. And there's all of this talk of, we know that Shalon has a bad past, and we know that she's, done some things, but there's something else, and we don't know what that something else is, and neither does Shalon. She's like, there are gaps in my memory of my childhood, and I don't know why, and this is affecting her so much to the point that Shalon herself is starting to think that she is actually one of the alters. Like, Shalon is not the OG, personality in the OG body. Like, she thinks she is one of the alters who has mistakenly thought that she was a real person, which, like, freaking terrifying. Number one, can I just say, like, imagine thinking that you're a real person, but you're just a split off of someone else's personality. Like, scary. So that is her current theory, is that she's scared that she's not real. And even though, like, I don't want to say it would be obvious for that to be the reveal, but since she is thinking it and on page it's being said, I feel like that means, like, it's a red herring, so it can't be the case. But I feel like there is something along the lines of, there is a fourth alter, and the reason why Shalon has no memories is because the other alter is the one carrying those memories, and whenever she switches into that alter, she does not remember. Like, that alter is purposely blocking her memories, so Shalon doesn't know that she is actually the traitor. That's my theories as of right now. I am like 430 pages in. I have like 130 pages, I think, now, from where I'm at, until the end of part 2. Honestly, these last few chapters have been really short, and like I said, a lot of things are ramping up, so I think the end of part 2 might be easy to get to.
Boxtic side eye.
Hi, hello, it's me again. I have seemingly lost my AirPods. This is not new territory for me. The thing that is new territory is that I can't find them. So that's fun. So we're going back to our corded roots here. I just finished the interludes, after the end of part 2. Here is the tab update. I'm scared I'm gonna run out of tabs. Like, some of my colors are getting really, really low. But basically what happened in the last 100 so odd pages, the tower that all of our faves have been staying in, got attacked by the singers, and they were, some of them were battling, some of them were kind of held captive, some of them, there was a lot going on. And Kaladin was like, I just can't sit back and fight anymore. And so he starts fighting this guy, and he ends up killing him because he came after Teft. And Teft is in one of the, like, patient rooms, and he's like, oh, this guy's gonna kill Teft, like, I have to save him. And so Kaladin kills the guy, and his dad comes in, and he's like, dude, like, you're you're killing people in my quarters. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm a surgeon. Like, my job is to save people's lives, and you're in here killing people. Like, what are we doing? And Kaladin, even though he does enjoy doing something that helps people, he really realizes, like, I'm not a surgeon, I'm a soldier. And that was a bar. And you know what? That was a bar. You know what I mean? And we kind of got a glimpse at what the attack looked like from other people's perspectives. Because basically, when they attacked, they did something that destroyed not destroyed, but it like was taking away all of the power of the Radiants in the tower, and so none of the Radiants could help fight. And Kaladin was like, my powers have already been useless. This is my time to shine. So that's why he kind of stands up and decides, like, yeah, I'm gonna help finally. But yeah, in the interludes, we kind of see the taking over of the tower from different perspectives, and we kind of learn, and we've kind of known that Odium is like, there's some suspicious stuff going on. Odium is a god, and you would think that he, like, is on the good god side. No. No, 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 no. Specifically, he has it out for Kaladin. He does not like Kaladin. But anyway, we get some conversations between him and Moesh, freaking Moesh, and him and Taravangian. And Taravangian sees that he has these, like, pages of notes on, like, this grand plan that he has laid out. Taravangian realizes that his life, like, his future, is really fuzzy. Like, there's not clear, like, direction to his future. And he's thinking about it, and he realizes that anybody who is surrounded by Narin, their future is like really like blurry. Like, for some reason, Odium cannot see what their futures are, so that's kind of odd. But yeah, we kind of have been seeing Odium do some stuff behind the scenes to try and ruin the lives of people, and now we are for sure getting it. He's trying to meddle in the lives, but Taravangian is like, I got a plan. So that's where we're at right now. I don't know how much I'm going to try to read today, because I did, I think, technically read like over my have to limit yesterday. The end of this part isn't for like all the way back here. Like, yeah, literally right here. I went right to it. This is how big of a chunk until the next part. So maybe we tried to read like half of that. I am having to go to work at 10:30 this morning, and then I get off at 6, and then I go to church straight after that. So I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done today, so it's a good thing I did some extra reading yesterday. But yeah, maybe halfway between 591 and 854, whatever the middle part is there. But yeah, whichever part I end up stopping at, I will let you know how it goes. So something I will say, and this is guys, this is a safe space. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and you guys, it's not gonna be a big deal. I don't really know what's going on in the book. I roughly know what's going on, but I just feel like I am missing some things. Like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm having a hard time understanding it. Like, it's a lot more like lore dumpy, like even more so than the past ones. But when I first started reading Way of Kings, there was this guy named Peter. I'll have his channel linked below. He has a video reading every single one of the Stormlight Archive books, and I would like watch until he read up to a certain point, or I would read and watch up until he got to that point, and then I would see what he thought about it, and then, you know, he would have another chunk of the book that he would read, and then he would talk about what happened, and I would just, as I read, would watch his video, so I was making sure that I was picking up on everything that was happening. And he does not have a video for Rhythm of War, oddly enough. Literally, he has one for Wind and Truth, but not Rhythm of War, which is a little bit frustrating. And so I'm trying to comprehend stuff that's going on, and I don't know. I'm worried that I'm missing things. I mean, it's not like so complicated that I can't keep up with it. It's like, it's not to that level, but there are a lot. I think, honestly, I don't know if this will make any sense, but I talked about how this one, a lot of people feel like it's slower than the than the other books, and a lot of that is because it's taking the time to explain the magic system and all of that stuff. And even though, like, yes, it is slow, I think the main reason why it feels the way it does, and the reason why I'm like, I don't know, not confused, but like just trying to understand it as best I can, is because it's an isolated story. Like, it's very, very isolated. Like, I feel like a lot of the other books that we would be in like 6 different places throughout the whole book, and we've spent like the last 400 pages in this tower, and they have not left the tower, which obviously they're held captive. Their enemies showed up, they bombarded them. Like, I'm not saying that they should have just beaten them in 1 page and, you know, we should be out of the tower. But I think that's probably why, like, it's a much more isolated setting than the past books. I'm just trying to keep it all in my head and keep it all straight, because there's a lot going on, a lot of characters, there's a lot of little things that are like nothing. I don't want to say nothing is little in this series, but a lot of little things end up being like really, really important. And so I'm trying to pay attention best I can, but that's another reason why, like, I'm worried I'm missing things, because a lot of like well, not like little bitty like blink and you'll miss it details, but a lot of small details are like what take up like big reveals and stuff. So I'm a little bit scared, but it's okay. I'm still really enjoying the book. As always, I think that the best part is the characters. Like, even though I am a little bit confused and I'm a little bit like, what's going on? Like, the characters are heavily interesting to me. Like, there's not at any point reading this book where I'm like, oh, these characters are terrible. Like, the characters, I think, in this book, weirdly, are carrying the plot a little bit more than the plot is carrying the characters, if that makes sense. But yeah. Oh, let me show you my tab update. I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to start running out of tabs, to be honest. Here we are. Tab update. I'm a little over halfway, so we're getting there. I'm on page 701. I got exactly to page 700. There is some stuff that we learned about Vinley and Eshonai and stuff that happened in the past with the humans. And I don't think we have all the information yet, but I still don't fully understand what's going on with that situation. Kaladin's trying to get out of the tower, and not everybody, but a lot of our characters are trying to figure out how Kaladin is fine when all of the Radiants, basically all the other Radiants, are kind of comatose. They're like not awake type of situation, and Kaladin is like, this is my time to do something and help the people that I care about, because he's kind of been sitting on the bench the last several weeks in story because he's having a rough time. But yeah, that is I don't want to say the most of what I understood, but there was also a lot of like just more talk and planning of battle, which is like not my favorite thing, but the book is still very good. Like, I'm not trying to say that like it's a terrible, like, worst book I've ever read, but I do think that this might end up being my least favorite of them, but not by very much. But I do think it's my least favorite. Hi. Hello. It is 10 o'clock right now. I am on page 857. I have read quite a bit since I last talked to you, because here's the tab update. I really don't know how to explain what's going on, because there's a lot going on, but at the same time, there's only like 2 things going on. Like, does that make sense? Like, I was telling my mom earlier, I think what's so interesting about this book is how isolated the setting is. Like, we've been trapped in this tower for easily like 15, 20 hours at this point, and we're still trapped there. I'm like, we've spent this whole book almost in this tower. Like, maybe the first, like, I don't know, 20 to 30% we weren't there. But, like, literally, we've been in this tower pretty much a whole normal book's length. We've been in this tower. And I don't know, it's just kind of hard to explain everything that's going on. Like, the TLDR, the simplest way I can put it, our gang is stuck in this tower. They're trapped. The Singers and the Fused have them held hostage, and they cannot communicate with, like, Dalinar, Yasna, anybody else who did not come to the tower with them. They can't communicate to, and all of the Radiants are, like, unconscious, basically, like, comatose, except for Kaladin, and he doesn't know why, and so he's like, this is my time to shine. I don't remember if I already said that in the last clip. I might have, but basically what's happened since then is a bunch of, like, kind of mini boss fights, in a sense, is kind of a way to describe it. Well, okay, not mini boss fights. I don't know how to explain, like, mini battles, not many, but mini battles, of just these creatures, not human guys, kind of trying to just mess with Kaladin. Like, Kaladin specifically is just getting into all sorts of problems in this, which he's the only one that can really do anything. Like, Navani has been kind of stuck. Like, she is doing some research for the people. Like, while she's getting held hostage, they're like, hey, like, we want you to figure out, like, why Kaladin isn't, like, why is he fine? Like, we need you to figure that out. And so, like, her and some of her, like, assistants, that's what they're tasked with doing. And Kaladin, I do like the kind of juxtaposition, apparently I can't say that word, between the beginning of the book, because Kaladin's powers weren't working, and he could not get out of his own head because of his PTSD, and now he is the only one who is awake, and so he kind of has to prove himself to help save his friends. I don't really know how else to explain that. We also got some flashback chapters between Vinley and Eshonai, and I don't really fully understand exactly what happened. I didn't, like, I must have just, like, zoned out. Don't worry, I'm watching, like, a deep dive, like, recap video, but, basically Vinley, betrayed her people to help the humans, because she thought that the humans were, you know, they were the next new big thing, like, coming into town. Like, they were gonna help her with all these advancements, and she was gonna discover all this stuff, and she was gonna be so smart and cool and everything. And she ended up, like, flooding her entire village and killing a whole bunch of people. I don't know where the water came from. So I missed that somewhere, but anyway, there really hasn't been, has there been any, hold on, let me make sure I'm not lying to you. I don't think there's been any Shallan moments since part 2. Yeah, Shallan wasn't in part 3 at all, and I was kind of bummed about that a little bit, because up until, like, before part 3 started, I think her, and I talked a lot about, Shallan and her character arc in this book, several clips ago, but I think her character is so interesting in this book, and I'm so shocked a lot of the time when I watch videos of people talk about these series, specifically dudes, they really do not like Shallan's character. I love Shallan. Like, I see myself in her, and maybe that's a red flag, because every time I watch a dude talk about this series, they're like, Shallan is so annoying. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe the call's coming from inside the house. I don't know, but yeah, I really hope we get back to, because I mean, I only have like 30-ish, a little over 30% left now. So I really hope, I'm actually going to look at the little page after the interludes and peek and see if it says that she is in the chapters coming up. Yeah. Adolin, Shalon, Navani, Vinley, Eshonai, and Bridge 4. Oh, and Bridge 4. Okay. So yeah, we've had a whole, like, hundreds of pages without her character, and I just think that's such a sad thing, because I just love her character in this book. I think she's so fascinating, and this storyline of her kind of feeling like she's going crazy and losing her mind and like not knowing who to trust outwardly, but also not knowing who to trust in her own mind with her alters. Like, it's just so fascinating to me, and so I really hope in part 4 we really get back into the weeds of that, and I'm excited. I trust Brandy Sandy to deliver. I really do. Like, I trust him. But yeah, I don't really exactly know, and maybe I'm not supposed to, because in my flipping I did see that we are still getting some more flashback chapters to 7 and 8 years ago, so maybe I'm not supposed to fully understand the backstory with Vinley and the humans yet, because it's not finished being told. But yeah, Kaladin just keeps getting in little tussles with these people. There was a really cool fight scene actually with Yasna. She is back in kind of the place that everybody left from, and she was in battle kind of trying to protect the place while everyone was gone, and she had a really, really cool fight scene. I thought that was pretty awesome. Like, as somebody who, like, I don't know, the fight scenes in this book are really, really cool. Like, don't get me wrong, they're very anime, very, like, Elden Ring. Sometimes I find myself just tuning out during them. I don't know why, no, I do know why. Because they're like 30 pages long a lot of the time. Like, if you ever see a chapter that's like 60 minutes in the audio, you know it's somebody getting into a fight. You know it's a battle about to happen, because they are just very, very long. Very descriptive. Anyway, but yeah, that actually was a really, really cool part. She was doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? Popular opinion, I don't care how all this magic works. Like, is it cool? Yes. But I'm here for the characters, guys. Okay? I'm a character girly. Okay? This is so unrelated, but I was listening to one of these chapters, and I was scrolling on Instagram because I was tired of playing my jigsaw puzzle game. Yes, I play jigsaw puzzle games on my phone while I'm listening to the audio for this. Anyway, and I saw a Rick Grimes edit, as I do, and I was like, oh my goodness, I want to stop what I'm doing and make a Rick Grimes edit, but I couldn't because I was still reading this. And then I ended up going back and watching season 1, episode 3 of Walking Dead. The clip where Rick finds Carl and Lori at the camp. Absolute cinema. And the way that this scene makes me cry to this day, okay? It's so good. Andrew Lincoln literally is my favorite, okay? I love Andrew Lincoln so much. But I was watching that, and then I ended up making a TikTok where I was like, this is the best reveal in TV history, argue with a wall, like, I love this reveal. What was the point of me saying that? Oh, that was to me saying, as somebody who loves Walking Dead, that will prove to you, I don't care how bad the plot ends up getting of a book, if I'm ride or die for the characters, like, I'll stay in, even if I hate the plot, even if I don't care, if the characters are well developed and I care about where their storylines are going, I will keep watching for 11 seasons. I truly will. But yeah, I read way more today than I thought I was going to be able to. I think I'm like 200 pages ahead, of where I'm supposed to be, which is great, because I need to get this video out. I need to get this video out so I can work on my next video. I don't even know what my next video is going to be. welcome to my life. But this has been a really long process reading this book. I feel like it's been long. It really hasn't been. I'm being dramatic. I only started reading this Friday night, so it hasn't even been a week. That's crazy. I haven't even been reading this for a week. And 2 days of that week, I didn't read this at all. Okay, literacy. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know where part 4 ends. Part N ends roughly right there. So that is a really good chunk. I can easily read this, all of part 4 tomorrow, and then leave part 5 for the next day, and then I can easily round it out. I think that is a very good number of pages. I mean, one of them is definitely a bigger chunk than the other, but it's okay. So yeah, I will read this chunk tomorrow, and then I will read this chunk on Saturday. But yeah, let's just look at all this gorgeousness right here. Like, I am worried I'm gonna run out of tabs. I've already run out of 2 tab colors now. Yeah. So we're getting a little close, but it's fine. It's fine. So yeah. See you tomorrow. Hey guys. Hello. You'll have to just deal with the everything about how I look right now because I just got off work and we had truck today. I am so sorry. But I finished Rhythm of War. It has been several days. I think it's been like 2 or 3 since I've actually talked to you. One of the days I didn't read it all. The next day I read like this much. Remember how I said I was gonna read half of the rest and then the other half? That didn't happen. I just had to brute force like 90% of that chunk last night. And I stayed up till like 10:30 finishing this book. Here's the final tab update. I mean, every single one of these books I have just like done some insane tabbing on. But I can confidently say, after sitting on it and thinking on it and everything, this is my least favorite of the series, unfortunately. I think a lot of people share that sentiment. I don't know, I haven't heard great things about Wind and Truth, but I think people like Wind and Truth a little bit more than this one. This book for me, I think the hardest thing about this book, and I don't know if I ever talked about this, I'm sure I did, but this book almost entirely takes place in one location. And like, compared to the other 3 books, like, don't get me wrong, like, in the other books, like, we might be somewhere for a while, but we have so many character POVs that even if like 3 characters are all in the same place, there's enough like diversity in the settings because we have so many other POVs we follow and so many other people who we are like keeping up with that it doesn't get like annoying. We were in this damn tower, like, I actually meant to look. I'm pretty sure like 200 pages or less in is when they get to this tower, and they're in the tower for the other 1,000 pages of the book. I'm like, okay, in my opinion, if you want my full-blown breakdown, part 1 and 2 are perfect. They are incredible, okay? Part 3 is so incredibly boring to me. To me. I know that there are going to be people that eat that up. It was so boring, and I am so sorry, Mr. Brandon. I just didn't care. And then part 4 is pretty boring, and then right towards the end starts to get really interesting, and then part 5 is so cool, and then it ends right when it's starting to get cool, which like obviously is very like, you know, book in a series, right? But the ending of this is actually insane. Is it my favorite of the endings? I mean, it's definitely, I think, the most shocking of the endings so far. I'm trying to think of all the endings. I don't think it's my, I think the second book, either book 2 or book 3, which are my 2 5-stars of the bunch. One of the 2 of them, I think probably, if not both, I think has the actual, like, my favorite ending. But this ending is wild. Like, it is crazy. I'm like, oh, okay. There's just not a lot going on. And unfortunately, I just find like trying to figure out, like Navani trying to do stuff with the light and doing the research and, you know, what's the difference between void light and storm light, and like, I get it, but I was very bored. Like, I was very, very bored. I also think something that this book suffers from, for a large chunk of the book, some of my favorite characters are just not even on page. I'm like, oh, but where are my faves? Like, Shalon and Adolin are without a doubt, like, in my top 3. Obviously, Kaladin's in there too. And at any point, those 3 can swap places for who's my favorite. In book 1, Shalon was my favorite. In book 2, Adolin was my favorite. Book 3, it was kind of a 3-way tie because there was, like, kind of a love triangle situation going on. But a large chunk of this book, like, Shalon and Adolin aren't even really with each other and aren't really even, like, have very many scenes together. Every scene they had together, I ate it up. Don't worry, it's tabbed. But it just didn't happen that often, which book 3 was a lot of them in their relationship and, like, them getting together, so, like, I guess it makes sense. But I just found so much of this book just so uninteresting. Like I already said, like, Navani and the research, like, I just didn't care. Like, Adolin going on trial for, like, the Spren thing, I just didn't care. I was like, who cares? Who cares? I did find Venli as a character a little bit confusing, and that's probably a me thing. I probably just was not picking up on things. But I just found her character, I was like a little bit confused. I, like, never really knew if she was on the good guy side or not, and maybe that's intentional, I don't know. And I just kept trying to understand, like, what happened between her and her family and the humans, and I didn't really understand what all of that was about. Like, I understand that she, like, betrayed them and that she was going to have them killed, but she didn't kill them because they're alive. Like, you get told, like, towards the end of the book that, like, somebody finds out that there's a group of them that are alive. So I don't really understand, but like I said, that's not I don't think that has anything to do with the book. I think that's just me and my comprehension. But yeah, I'm going to give this book 3.75 stars. My lowest rated so far. If you want to know the ranking, so my personal ranking, book 2 is a 5-star. Book 3 is a 5-star. Honestly, those two are pretty interchangeable as far as which one, like, could be number 1 and which one could be number 2. I think book-wise and, like, normal, like, book conversation-wise, book 2 is technically a better book, but book 3 had me personally in a chokehold, and I loved it so much. I loved it so much. So book 2 and book 3 are both up there, and then book 1 is a 4-star. I mean, a lot of it is very slow, but at the same time, you are being introduced to so much and you're meeting so many characters and getting into the world. A lot of it, even though it is really slow, is very cool. Like the reveals and stuff like that, and the creatures and the magic and the everything. It's very, very cool. I obviously enjoyed the first one a lot. And then this one is, I guess, C tier. This one with my 3.75. I'm going to give it a 4 on Goodreads, just to be easy. I'm not going to round it down, but just know that this is my least favorite, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm really glad that you came along this crazy journey with me. Maybe we'll do some more big books. I don't know. I was gonna say I'll definitely do a video reading Wind and Truth, but will I? I mean, I could. Who knows, you know? Who knows? But yeah, that is the end of me reading Rhythm of War. If you liked it, do all the things, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. My name is Casey. I go by Pumpkin online, PMPKIN, because without you guys, I have nothing. See you later.